Welcome to episode 18 of Knitter Matters. I'm Cheryl Lampard, I'm an image consultant, Style Matters International, and I've had two passions throughout my life, sewing and knitting. I used to own a yarn store in Brighton, England, and it's always been my pleasure to teach people how to knit. Now, I want to get going today because I have some really exciting news to tell you. So I'm going to sit down because I like to wave my hands when I get excited, and the camera won't like that at all. So let me sit down. Now, you'll have heard throughout some of the episodes, I've referred to our friends at Mary Maxim. Now, they've become more than just friends now, they're more like family, because I'm delighted to say that Knitter Matters will be partnering with Mary Maxim. That is just so exciting. And I'm thrilled to tell you that today I'm taking over their Instagram page. Who'd have thought I could do an Instagram takeover? But I am, with various posts today. And I've also written a piece for their blog, which is just so exciting for me. So you might be thinking, well, that's great, Cheryl, and it is. But what's exciting and great about that for us? Well, I'll tell you what's exciting. It's because if you go on their site, if you want to make any kind of purchase from Mary Maxim, if you use the code, the promo code Cheryl, if you want to buy anything at all, then you will get 20% discount off the entire order. And that's not just for today, that's for any order that you place, today, tomorrow, whenever, from anywhere you might be watching, because Mary Maxim ships globally. So as long as you enter this promo code, you'll get your 20% discount at checkout. So how exciting is that? Now, I will be posting all the Mary Maxim information on social media and our website after today's Facebook Live. Okay, so I'm going to ask the camera to turn to the desk because I'm going to get started now, and I need to settle down after all that excitement. I'm going to start off today by talking to you about some books that I like. I'm often asked about books. What are my favourites? Well, I don't like picking favourites because I have more than one. But these books, A Treasury of Knitting Patterns and A Second Treasury of Knitting Patterns, are by Barbara G. Walker. I believe she's done 4 in this series of Treasury books, and it's since I bought this, which has got to be 30 odd years ago, it's been reprinted. She's also done a whole series of other knitting reference books. And the reason I like them is if you're looking for stitch inspiration, or you're looking for a new project or a different stitch pattern, these are fantastic resources. Don't let the black and white photos and the somewhat dated look put you off. The information is excellent. She tells you how many pattern repeats you need for a specific pattern or a design. Let's show you this one as well. So there's so many things here. There's colour, work knitting, all sorts of things. And as I say, I think these are 2 in a series of 4, plus many other books that she's written. Which isn't bad for a woman who apparently didn't take to knitting at all when she first tried it as a young woman. So those, if you're a knitting fiend or you want inspiration, take a look at these. They're available in all sorts of online bookstores. Let me move those out the way now. Quick sip of water before we really get going. Okay, now to the main topic. Today's topic is entrelac knitting. It comes from the French word entrelacer, which means to interlace. And the technique, as you can see here, gives a basket weave pattern. It's an intriguing way of knitting. It gives a basket weave pattern of triangles and rectangles, which are positioned diagonally, as you can see here. And it does look very impressive, but it's actually kind of a lot simpler than it might look. It's composed of, we have these base triangles, which is where we start, and I'm going to show you that in a minute. Then these rectangles that sort of intersect. They look like they're interwoven. Obviously, I haven't blocked this piece out yet, but it looks much smoother when you do that. But I almost quite like the texture of that. So you could find entrelac, you would certainly find it in scarves and accessories, things like that. You might find it in a sweater as a whole. You might find it on the saddle of a sleeve, so a yoke, or the sleeve that comes down all the way down the arm, something like that. And there are many different patterns that have differing number of stitches and different rows, but the basics of Entrelac are pretty much the same. Now, I'm going to give you a demonstration. We're going to do this in 2 weeks. We're going to start this week and we'll finish it off next week because it is quite a lot and I want to explain as we go. I'm going to show you this pattern. I'm going to follow this pattern, and this is a free download from Mary Maxim, and again I will post all this information after today's Facebook Live. It's a two sheet download and I'm going to take you through that. Sorry, the cameraman's getting cross with me. Okay, so this is what I'm going to be following, and I'll point out anything that I think you need to know as I go along. Okay, so that's what our Entrelac looks like. This is actually 36 stitches, which is what the pattern asks for. It's in a completely different yarn. I wanted to do it on a thick yarn so that you could really see. And when I demonstrate, it'll be on the same thick yarn. So it's not the yarn that's used in the pattern, but the principle is the same. So what you will need are definitely a clicker or a row counter of some description. This is mine, because you need to know which row you're on. You can, of course, just do it with a pen and paper or pencil, something like that, but a clicker I find is very handy. So to start off, you may also want some kind of ruler to follow the rows. This is one of these patterns, if you remember, or certainly I remember back in school, when we took a written exam, the teacher would say, make sure when you turn over the page, you read the instructions, you read what the questions are asking. This is one of those times. You're not going to be asked exam questions, but when you first look at the pattern, it's easy to think, I have no idea what that means. Do read it, just get comfortable with it. And you'll see here, I've highlighted where it says, do not turn, do not turn. This is really important in Entrelac knitting, and you'll see why in a minute. Okay, but I've highlighted those because it's very easy to forget those. And then you turn and then you don't know where you are and the pattern's not going to work. So I'm going to get my needles where I've cast on half the number of stitches here. I've cast on 18 stitches. I'm going to turn a little so you can see over my shoulder. Excuse me. As I take another sip. I'm so excited today. I'm talking too much, but probably not about the right things. Anyway, let's start off. So our pattern says here, and again, if you're going to knit the scarf, that's great. You would cast on 36 stitches loosely. I've cast on here 18, which is half that, just for demonstration purposes. Okay, I need to get a little bit clearer so the camera can see. This is where you're going to need your clicker. That's where that comes in. We start off with base triangles. Remember I said on here, these kind of little triangles, that's where you start. That's what we're going to start with. So this is almost like the short rows that we did last week to make the triangles, but we're not going to wrap and turn. You don't need to worry about any of that. And where it says slip stitches, where you slip the stitch, you're going to do it purlwise unless it says otherwise. And you're going to hold the yarn to the wrong side of the work. Okay, so my first row here, my base triangles, I'm going to slip one and I'm going to knit one. I need to come this way. Okay, I need to come over, I'm being told. Okay, so that's my first row. Now I'm going to turn. I'm going to turn the whole knitting. You're going to be doing a lot of turning. Now I'm going to do purl 2. The first bit is always a bit harder. Going to turn again, that's my second row. My third row, I slip. Remember, I need to keep that yarn at the back, but I'm slipping purlways. And I'm knitting 2. And now I'm knitting 1 off my left hand needle there. That's row 3. Row 4, I turn, and I purl 3. Your wrong side rows are always going to be purls on this particular pattern. Turn again. Don't forget to use your clicker. I'm going to keep my yarn at the back. So slip. I'm on row 5, so I need to knit 3. Knit 3. I need to turn. It's actually easier when you get going. So I'm on row 6 now. I'm purling 4. And I'm going to turn. See why you need that clicker? You might think, oh, I can do it without. It's very easy to lose your place with Entrelac. I'm on row 7, so now slip 1, knit 4. Sorry if that's distracting, but I do need to see the pattern here. Okay, that's my row 7. Purl 5 on this row. This is why I've highlighted where it says do not turn, because it's so easy to forget that. You get into that rhythm of knitting and turning and then you forget. So that was row 8. Now I'm on the last row of this first base triangle. I slip 1, I knit 5, and I do not turn. So I have to remind myself not to turn. That is my first base triangle. I've got 2 more to do on here. If you're doing the scarf pattern, you'll have another 5 to do because there's 6. This pattern is a multiple of 6 stitches, okay? So now I repeat the rows 1 to 9. The pattern obviously says 5 more times. I'm doing it 2 more times. So I do my slip 1. I knit 1. Remember the yarn is at the back. I turn. Oh, I need to set my counter back to 0. You need to do that, and I forget that. Oh, gosh. What have I done? That's a 0, Cheryl. If you went the right way, it would be easier. Okay, so I've done row 1. Now I need to purl 2. I turn, I purl 2. I know this is a bit tedious watching me knit this, but it's sort of important that you get what we're doing. Turn again. And you'll be less cumbersome with your turning than I am because I'm trying to keep things in shot. Slip 1, knit 2. Row 3, turn. If you don't like noisy clickers, you can get quiet ones. Row 4, purl 3. Turn. Row 5. Slip 1, knit 3. 1, 2, 3. So each time you're doing that turn, you're taking another, each time you do a right side turn to the right side, you're taking another stitch from the left hand needle, okay? I've got purl 4. Sorry, I'm leaning against my yarn. It's not very forgiving. I want to pull it. This is why we're going to do this over 2 weeks, because I want you to practice it and get the hang of it. Turn. It's my row 6. Row 7 now. Slip 1. 1. Excuse me. 3. 4. Turn again. I'm on row 8 now. Purl 5. Believe me, I've thought, oh, I don't need the clicker for this. But something distracts you and then you've got to take time and count where you are. You can always find your place, but much easier if you don't need to keep worrying about that. So that was row 8. So I'm on row 9 now, which is the last row again of this triangle, my base triangle. Slip 1, knit 5, and do not turn. So you can see my little triangles are fun, and they do look a bit weird. This one will be a triangle shape. This one, because it's obviously fastened joined to the next one, it looks more like a bobble, but that will all sort itself out in due course. Right, now I need to get my clicker to naught again. Did it a bit quicker that time. So I'm back to row 1. which is my last base triangle. Okay, so I'm slipping, knit 1 and turn. Entrelac is one of those things that once you get the hang of it, it's really quite nice to do. Don't give up on it. It's a great technique. Slip 1, knit 2. Purl 3. Turn. So I'm on row 5 now. Slip 1, knit 3. My poor husband, sometimes all he hears of an evening when I'm knitting is lots and lots of clicks. 3, 4, that was row 6. Row 7, slip 1, 1, 2, 3, 4. Row 8 now, purl 5. Thank goodness you say she's getting to the end of this. We can look at something else. That was row 8. Now this is my last base triangle. I've got to slip 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this is now the last stitch off my left hand needle. Okay, so you see I have 3 base triangles. I know these look like bobbles, but that's okay. They're supposed to look like that. They're joined, so they can't go anywhere at the moment. I'm going to set my clicker back to 0 because now let's assume that I've done all my 6 base triangles, or however many I want to do. Turn the work to the wrong side once the 6th base triangle is complete. So it's my 3rd base triangle, so now I can turn it to the wrong side. Get that out of the way. Here it says now we've got to do a left side triangle. So what that means is I've got to do something over here. Okay, or in fact it's actually this side because it's round the other way, so in that sense it's this end, but you need these triangles, otherwise your pattern's going to go nowhere. So I'm on my wrong side. I slip 1 and I purl and I turn. Let's not forget my clicker, and there's another stitch coming along here. So I'm going to knit 1. Now it says to make 1. And the way I'm going to do that, I think we've done this stitch before, but I'm going to show you. You find this little bar between this stitch and this stitch. This little bar here. You lift that. You can do it skillfully and with your left hand and pop it onto the left needle straight away. But what I do is I like to find it on my right needle. Then I put it on my left needle. And then I knit into the back of it. Okay, I'll show you that again on the next row because we'll be doing that again. So that's row 2, and then that was a knit 1. Row 3, I slip 1 and I purl 1. I'm still slipping all my slip stitches purlwise. Purl 1, purl 2 together. Now I turn. So in sense I'm making 1 and I'm decreasing 1. Going back to my row 4. Now I need to knit to last stitch, and I'm going to do the make 1 again. So I'm going to find the little rung of, if you will, of my stitch, this one. There you go. Sometimes you can just wheedle in with your needle, depends what it is. Put that on the left hand needle, I knit into the back of it. It's an increase and it's called a make 1. I've split that yarn there. That's better. Okay, so that's row 4. Row 5 is slip 1. I need that. Sorry, I need my... Okay, I'm being asked to turn this way so you can see better. Slip 1, purl 2. And watch this purl 2, because it's purl 2 together. You're going to take this left one off. You're going purling into almost the next, your base triangle, because you're joining them all together as you knit. That's row 5. Oops, that's row 5. So row 5 was a slip 1, purl 2, and then purl 2 together. Row 6, I'm going to knit to the last stitch, and then I make one again. And I want to get this bit done because I want you to see what we do next. Okay, I've got to make one. I've got to find that tricky little rung that's lying there. Oh, it's not wanting to show up. Oh, there it is. There we go. There. Put it on the left-hand needle, knit into the back of it. You need to knit into the back of it, otherwise you'll get a hole. That is row 6. Row 7, I slip 1, I purl 3, I purl 2 together, that one, whoops, and that one, okay, purl 2 together. Oh, I've done something wrong, sorry, that should have been, no, that's right, 1, 2, 3, see what I mean about not knowing where you are. That was row 7, sorry, I split my stitch there. Row 7, purl 2 together, okay. The good thing is if you do make a mistake with Entrelac, you've only got that section to sort out. You don't have to pull out the whole thing. I knit to the last stitch, and then I do the make one again. Find that little, oh, first time this time, that's good. My needles are a bit tight on this yarn, it's not quite the right size. Okay, so that's row 8. Now, I need to, good, I've got time to show you because I do want to do that. Slip 1, purl 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, purl 2 together. Now do not turn, it tells me. That's important. Now, I want to show you, the time is right here. So, let me turn that round so you can see. You see what's happening here? Our base triangles are there, and I've already done that corner piece here. Okay, now we're going to join the next rectangle. Let me set my counter back to 0. So what I have to do now, remember I mustn't turn it. I've got to pick up and knit 6 purl stitches along here. And what you do, you go through kind of the legs of these V shapes. And you think, oh, there's not 6 there. You'll get 6. So that was a purl 2 together. So I'm going to go in here, 1, 2, 3. Actually, I'm going to go, I'm going to go here. 1, 2, 3. No, I'm going to go back because I think I need to have one a bit earlier. That's my I need to go in a bit earlier. Otherwise, I'm going to run out of stitches. So I want one there, purl, 2, 3. Oh, split a yarn. Sorry, that's 3. You're going in under the 2 legs. 4, 5. 5. Oh, this yarn is so splitty. Okay, let me have another go at that. And I'm not using, I would like to have used slightly pointier needles on this, but these are nice short ones, so it's easier for me to demonstrate. And then I'm going to pick up the kind of 2 legs at the bottom. You might have to play about with that, but that's my 6, okay? So that's my first row for my, now I turn. And I'm going to knit 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Turn again for row 3. Slip 1. 1,
2, 3, 4, pull 2 together. You're taking one off the other base triangle now, okay? 1, 2. So I've got to repeat these rows for a few more. I'm 6, knit 6. This is where you definitely need the clicker because these 2 rows are very similar, the same, and you repeat them. I'm trying to get speed on here. So what do I need to do? Oh, slip 1. Slip 1, purl 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. We're all right for time. I just want to get to the end of this rectangle. And then I purl 2 together. Okay? I'm taking them off that next base triangle. So I keep repeating those 2 rows for a few rows more. Knit 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And slip 1, purl 4. You usually have twice as many rows as you have stitches on Entrelac. That's the normal way it works. And that is the case pretty much here. Row 7, oops. Row 8, I knit 6. I'm doing that thing where I knit faster where if I think the yarn is running out, which is ludicrous, but that's what I do. Slip 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, pull 2 together, turn, nearly there, so that you can see this triangle, knit 6. That was my row 9, a couple more rows to go. That was my row 10, sorry. Slip 1, purl 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, pull 2 together. And you'll see as you go along, you'll know where you are because also the stitches on the left hand needle will sort of be running out. One more row to do that and then I can show you what it looks like. Knit 6. So that was row 12. And then slip 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, purl 2 together. That is my first tier 1 rectangle completed. Now it says do not turn because I would be picking up these stitches along there again, exactly as I did first, but I just want to show you what that looks like. So I am going to turn that. So I would do that obviously on this one, and if you're doing the scarves there would be 5 others. I'm going to show you what that looks like and then you can compare that to the finished piece. So that is how you start off with Entrelac. So that's nice. We've done the base triangles, we did the left side triangles, and we did tier 1 rectangles, which I think is quite enough to be getting on with for your first go at Entrelac. So as you can see, if I put that there, sorry, cameraman is telling me off again. I have a habit of going backwards and I should go forwards here. So you can see we've got that base triangle there. We've done that side triangle, or part of it. This is what we're doing now. Okay, and when we get to that end, which we will do next week, we'll do that triangle. I'll also show you how to finish off the top row as well. So it's your top end of your scarf. But that's how you do Entrelac. And it's really not as hard as it looks, I hope. Now, I know that's a lot. I do know that's a lot. I will post the promo code again on my Facebook page, Knit Matters Facebook page. All these episodes are uploaded to our Facebook page, the Knit Matters Facebook page, YouTube channel, and please do follow us on Knit Matters on Instagram. We'd love you to do that. Don't hesitate to let me know if you have any questions at all or any problems. Knitting's supposed to be therapeutic, not stressful. I'm here to help, so don't hesitate and let me know. So I've been really excited about today's episode. Thank you so much for joining me. Join us again next week. And in the meantime, stay well,
stay calm and keep knitting. Bye for now. See you next week. Bye bye.